Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Well, today I want to take us into the past, and I want to discuss one of the strangest events, I guess you could call it, that many of you probably haven't heard about, but that to this day still has a lot of controversy surrounding it. And that is what has become known as the Southern Television Broadcast Interruption. And this occurred on the evening of November 26th, 1977. Where for a time span of around 5 minutes, British television viewers who had just sat down to watch their local news suddenly had their broadcast interrupted by something that described itself as an alien. The unknown voice interrupted the television transmission for around 6 minutes and claimed to be a representative of an intergalactic association. Reports of the incident vary, with some calling the speaker by the name Vernon or Gillon. Others have called him Asteron. The voice, which was accompanied by a deep buzzing sound, broke into the broadcast of the local ITV station, overriding the UHF audio signal of the early evening news being read by Andrew Gardner from ITN to warn viewers that, quote, all of your weapons of evil must be removed, and that you have but a short time to learn to live together in peace. The interruption ceased shortly after the statement had been delivered, transmissions returning to normal shortly before the end of a Looney Tunes episode. Later in the evening, Southern Television apologized for what it described as a, quote, breakthrough in sound for some viewers. ITN also reported on the incident in its own late evening Saturday bulletin. The broadcast took over sound only, leaving the video signal unaltered, aside from a little picture distortion. Now, to this day, there have been a number of theories as to whether this was real, whether it was an elaborate hoax, and if you ask a large group of people today, they would likely say it was a hoax. But again, on the other hand, to this day, the identity of the hijacker is unknown, and the question has been raised as to why someone would put such effort into this, and to broadcast such a powerful and true message, whether it was real or not, just to say that they could do it. Now, what we do know, and I'll play you guys this in a second, is that the Hannington UHF television transmitter was unusual in being one of the few transmitters which rebroadcast an off-air signal received by another transmitter. As a consequence, it apparently is said to have been open to a kind of signal intrusion, as even a relatively low-powered transmission very close to the receiver could overwhelm its reception of an intended signal, resulting in an unauthorized transmission being amplified and rebroadcast across a wider area. What was also striking is that many of the tech support agents who worked at the television station are quoted as saying that to carry out such a hoax would take a considerable amount of technical know-how, and that not only would a hoaxer have to jam the transmitting signal, but would also have to be very, very close to it. And for such an elaborate, quote, hoax, you would think that whoever was behind it would want maybe a little bit of notoriety, and yet to this day, not one single name or person has been released to the public, whether it be by his or her own admission, or by the admission of the television station itself. Many believe to this day that this was, in fact, a real transmission, and that the words spoke in the message are very powerful and very true, and that the television station and possibly the British government were definitely trying to cover something up. I'll go ahead and allow you to watch the original transmission from that day at 5:10 p.m. on November 26th, 1977, and we'll talk more about it here in just a moment.
There are conditions. These include stopping the execution of all captured prisoners of war, allowing European state negotiations. In Australia, Mr. Kerry Packer's cricketers are still committing the right decision. They will stand on the playing test match. The voice of Allah, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. Going into and the views on our world around you. This is your ability to share and try to awaken as the planet passes into a new age of Aquarius. The new age can be a time of great peace and reason for your race. You also know something of generosity and can understand their judgments. Be still now, and for your jobs may not come again. All your weapons and you must be removed. The time of the conflict is now past, and the race of which you are a part may proceed to the higher stages of its evolution. If you show yourselves worthy to do this, you have but a short time to learn to live together in peace and goodwill. Small groups all over the planet are learning this, and exist to pass on the light of the morning new age to you all. You are free to accept the
Many go as wide as this. Then they run out.
Here now, the voice of Vernon, representative of the Ashtar Galactic Command, speaking to you. Be aware also that there are many false habits and guides operating on your world. They will suck your energy from you, the energy you call money, and will put into evil areas, giving you worthless costs in return. Now, in a divine self, protect you from this. You must know how to be sensitive to the voice within you, that can tell you what to do. Learn to listen to the voice within you.
Really appreciate that we can full of only really choice ingredients. I can have 9 lives.
The Ashtar Galactic Command based in attention. We are now leaving the place of your existence. May you be blessed by the supreme
So there you have it. The broadcast here, again, was audio only, and these subtitles were added in afterwards, a rough translation. And again, the voice of the person speaking is very strange. That's been pointed out. This strange, deep buzz sound that accompanied it. And of course, the message that was spoken, that one could only hope an extraterrestrial being would say, given the chance to speak with the people who are polluting and destroying our beautiful planet. Now, after this happened, there was some alarm by the people who watched it, and it attracted a considerable amount of publicity throughout the world, in fact. Numerous American newspapers picked up on the story, and the broadcast became a footnote in the ufology community, with many people still arguing to this day as to whether it was a hoax or not, and many who have questioned the explanation that this was some sort of transmitter hijack. In fact, within just 2 days of the report of the incident in the Times, a letter to the editor, published on November 30th, 1977, asked, quote, "How can the IBA, or anyone else for that matter, be sure that the broadcast was a hoax?" The editorial board of one local newspaper commented, quote, "Nobody seemed to consider that the broadcast may have been very real." Whatever you guys believe, I think that this is still one of the most intriguing and strange occurrences that I've ever come across in this research, and it continues to definitely be a footnote in this work we do. And really, whether you think it was real or not, the message still remains, as does the mountain of evidence that we truly are being visited and have been for quite some time. So with that, thank you guys for watching today. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe on your way out. I've got a lot more coming, so stay tuned, and I'll see you all back here in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.